Oh, hey, it's us. We're back. It's a bonus Urchins bonus content episode here on a Tuesday. Thank you all for joining us. I hope everyone's doing great. I hope everyone is enthused and excited and has. What I really hope is that people have questions about Victorian London.
Why?
Yeah.
Specific, maybe questions about sewers. Oh, I forgot my sewer book. I was going to bring the sewer book.
I feel like we need your sewer book.
I know, it's not my sewer book, it's my partner's sewer book. I was like, oh, if only I knew more about sewers. And he's like a massive nerd. He was like, here, I have this book on the history of sewers. I was like, yes! Before we get into all that, let's remind ourselves who we are, because I am having an identity crisis. I've forgotten, I think I'm Shamini. I think he's she, her pronouns.
No, your name's Emily Bates.
Yeah, that's definitely you.
I get those two confused. Very
You
easily
shouldn't.
done. I am one of the interchangeable RPGs.
Wow. Okay, I'm offended.
Wow.
there.
Yeah.
Zach, this is your fault. You've got me in trouble now. Tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Zack. My pronouns are he, him. I played, what was my character's name? Theo. I played Theo. It's been a week and I've
What
forgotten
was your
it all.
surname, Zach? What was your
Yeah,
surname?
what was your surname?
I know.
Hang on. I've got it in notes somewhere. Oh, fuck.
Oh, the tick, tick, tick.
I
points.
didn't know it was a pop quiz.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
talkback.
Think Jay-Z.
Perfect. Yeah.
Great. Love that.
Wait. I
Quickly,
don't know
think Jay-Z.
Jay-Z's name. Carter?
Yeah.
Great.
Jay-Z's name?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
you know how I
John
reverse
Carter.
engineered that is Beyonce, I think.
Yeah.
Miss
That's how I
Carter.
know it. It's because of Carter. Yeah.
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 Oh, of course, yeah.
I do not think
Theo
Jay-Z,
is
though.
Beyonce. Theo is the Beyonce of the
So
Victorian
yeah,
era.
and Theo absolutely the Beyonce of the crew in that he will devastate you.
Aw.
Oh, and how about you, Folarin?
Hello, I am the artist formerly known as Folarin Akinmade, and still currently the artist known as Folarin Akinmade. Please ignore the sound of crashing behind me. It's nothing to worry about. It's
I'm not worried.
suspicious at all.
We can hear it right now.
Great, good.
Decided he'd rather be here.
Rather than dealing with whatever that is.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's.
I was playing Will, whose last name was Radford.
Radford, yeah.
Lauren knows. Lauren knows. Fiona, bringer of the surnames.
Bringer of the surnames. Hello, everyone. My name is Fiona. I'm one of the interchangeable RP geeks. I'm the one that is quite. It always introduces like a horror element, even when I don't intend to. As just me. I'm just very spooky. I was playing Eddie or Edwina Walker. I had my note there, and I was like, what was it? That was it. It was a walking vocation. I'll tell you, my fun fact is I was looking up Victorian surnames, and it turns out, obviously, this makes more sense. It's all related to class. But actually, like stuff like Walker, Tanner, obviously it's job occupations as well. So that's why I was like, oh, well, I could give these people any surnames. And I was like, well, I might need to check in with people first before I just give them a random surname. I'm glad I did, because that would have been like, you're this. That was my sort of vibe. That's your name now.
So did you give people advance warning?
Well, I checked in with the only person, which was Folarin. I was like, do you have a surname? And he went, yes. And I was like, great. What is it? That was it.
Victorians.
I was going to ask. That was going to be one of my questions. Was how did you come up with a surname? Because I didn't know that was happening. Fiona just was like, boom, we all have surnames now. I was like, wow. That's cool. Emily Bates, or are you? No, you are. I know who you are. You're not me.
I'm Shamini Bundell, and one of the RP geeks. We're all interchangeable. You can't tell the difference. I don't believe you. And I played Pansy, who had a surname.
Which was
Cavendish.
Oh,
that's bullshit.
Oh, that's
always
That
been
was you
Cavendish.
pulled that so quickly.
been
That was
Cavendish.
unbelievable.
I've googled Victorian surnames and I put them up on my screen to my right, and I just glanced
Fine.
over. And
But
was
I
like,
will still
"Yeah,
say it didn't look as if you looked. It looked as if you just had that ready.
I'm
Yeah.
there."
So
I should have done that when I should have looked up Victorian surnames before I named that random lady. Blah 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 blah. Sorry?
Oh, what the
lady in the sewer?
woman whose house we broke into.
The woman whose house you broke into.
Her name was Lady Edelwick.
that's a
Yeah.
good name.
Yeah. And Jambu. was
John
B.
Oh, that woman! I thought I was so
yours?
confused when you said that because I was like, I thought you meant the first one we broke into, Madame M.
There's many houses, and you didn't.
We broke into so many houses.
We did
just
break
walked
into
in.
Madam M. Yeah, we walked in. Eddie Walker walked
Yeah,
in.
we weren't invited. It felt breaky-ish.
John B. However you're spelling that, I'm spelling it Jarnby.
Oh, it was a Y? I thought it was two E's.
Controversially, that's how I spelt it. Was just because I've been watching Bleak House, and it's all about jaundice, and I was like, yes, John. That's a name. That's a vibe.
See, I can't say it not in a British accent. I have to say John B because
B.
otherwise I say Jarnby.
Jarnby.
And that doesn't sound right.
Jarnby.
Oh my
Jarnby.
God. Jarnby. So cute.
So I'm always like Jamby. I'm basically
Jamby.
saying Jamby.
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 Jarnby.
Dickens has some amazing names, and I feel like I could have gone with better names because Dickens, everyone has very evocative names, and the sounds of the names, they're all ridiculous, but they kind of sound like something that the character might, some element of the character which I really like.
Like Thwistle Thwopple.
Excuse me?
What?
What do you call it?
Tight.
Thwistle Thwopple.
Don't be rude.
Thwistle Thwopple. I've decided that's a name.
That's a great
That's a
name.
good
You just made it up,
That's
though.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I love
Yeah.
the idea that, like, maybe I could be like, you meet a character, you meet someone, what's their name, and then whatever name you go, like the character's just vibes based on the name that you just made up. Like,
I love that, yeah.
That's
For
a
sure.
system.
Is that not how most people do it? I feel like that's how I do it.
But
I
like
just make
asking
it
the players for the
Oh,
name.
asking the
and then
players. I see.
making it
Oh, you
up.
see, I will hear other people like reading a book or see a film, and I'm like, that's a great name, and I'll make a little list, and then I'll go when we have to make characters. I'll pick that. Like
Oh.
Eddie was from. I rewatched Absolutely Fabulous, and obviously,
Ah.
yeah, and I was like, I'll use that name because I quite liked it. So yeah.
Is that why the other day you sent me a clip from Absolutely Fabulous?
Yes, that's
Right.
exactly it.
Snap is asking what Princess Cecilia's surname is, and I feel like if you're royalty,
It's Royal Highness, isn't it?
you can get away without having.
Yeah, Her Majesty.
Her
Yeah.
Majesty Cecilia, yeah.
Because I know,
Because
yeah,
the Queen and all that, they just had to invent a surname for practical purposes, but it's not
Yeah.
their real surname.
no.
Isn't that right?
it's the
But they
German-
must have had one at some point, though, right?
Yeah, it's the German one.
Battenberg, Mountenberg.
Something like that.
Mountbatten.
Yeah.
Mountbatten.
Mountbatten. Yeah.
Yeah, Mountbatten. There
No,
you go.
no, that's what they became. Right?
Mountbatten was the
No, they're
pagan
Windsor.
super
The
German.
the
No, the
Windsor.
Windsor was what
No,
they
they
became.
made up Windsor. That was completely
Yeah.
new.
No, but it's in the first one. Their original last name was Mountbatten,
Yeah,
and then they,
Ah.
yeah,
I believe.
And then they changed it
Right,
because
wasn't
I
it?
think Mountbatten
I'm
led
Googling.
an anglicization
Ah.
of something else.
Oh.
Someone looking this up.
I think Princess Cecily, my canon answer is that she's just called, well, because Princess Cecily, I think I said it in the session 0, is, there's again, I steal everything, because that's how we do things. Hello High Rollers, which is another RPG podcast, they had a side campaign where the character was called Princess Cecily or Princess Cess. And so in my head, it's Princess Cecily Cess, is what it is.
Right. Okay,
Cess,
I've got
Her name is Cess.
I've got an article from the Independent here that says that the Queen Victoria's eldest son, Edward VII, belonged to the house of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha.
Saxe Coburg
Brilliant.
Gotha.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
Probably Saxe Coburg Gotha, yeah.
And because of anti-German sentiment during the First World War, I believe, the name Windsor was chosen.
Yeah, Snap has
Where's
said in
Mountbatten come from then?
yeah,
I don't know.
Snap has said in the chat they removed their surname because it was the name of a German bomber, according to this in the chat. So thank you,
Oh, wow.
Snap. There you go. So yes,
Well, hold on, but a question about pets, right? Because Princess Cecily is descended from a line of pigeons who were originally owned by John B. So did they not just have his last name?
John B.
They're their own family.
Princess
Cecily
Cecily
John
John
B.
B.
I mean, technically, my cat has my partner's last name at the vets, but we don't call her the full name. So,
Because why would you need to?
right, exactly. But at vets they do call out like there's like so and so Smith, and it's always the
That's
pet's
true.
name, right? So
That is true.
like it'd be like It's like, ooh, Fluffy Smith, where are you?
Now I
Fluffy
must ask: is at the vet? Is she called Fancy Alice,
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good question.
or is she just
fancy.
Alice?
No. So, quick context for everyone who's watching. So, my partner adopted a cat and never changed her name, and she was Fancy Alice at the shelter, and has always been Fancy Alice. The vets call her Alice, but we think
Disgusting.
right. It's one name. We think it's Fancy Alice.
Fancy Alice.
Fancy Alice.
Fancy Yalis. Fancy Alice.
Yeah, exactly.
Fancy
But then
Alice.
they'll go
Fancy Alice.
Alice, and like I've yet to go to that.
Fancy Alice.
But I have to be like Jacob.
In
that's-
your British accent, you
Alice.
say to this American.
It's Fancy Alice.
It's Fancy
Fancy
Alice.
Alice.
But
Please do that.
I've said to my partner, I said like, you need to tell them that's not her name and don't go up. It's really embarrassing. When it's just
Like-
me and the.
Like, we're not moving.
You tell him you
until-
can't be the English woman in America demanding that her cat be
I was like,
called
I will-
Fancy Alice.
There'll be no one else in the room. I got to go up, and it's like, no, you don't. You got to wait till your name is called. There's a process.
It's like that. It could be any other cat. They know what her name is. It's
They
on
don't.
her sheet.
You just go, well. Yeah, it's rarely has it been someone has once called her Fancy, and I had to correct that as well because it's Fancy Alice. Anyway.
Oh, I can understand calling her fancy though. That does, in a way, that make at
No.
least they're trying to
That's,
read
that's
the
her
sheet.
ego's going to go up way too much. They've got to put it together, put it down. One.
I'm so fancy.
Anyway, enough about
I'm a little
names.
cat.
So, what we're going to be doing today is answering various questions of our own, question of chats, and also I have some lore. I have a few little bits of lore to drop. Just
Great.
I have so much lore to drop that I'm like going to try and restrain myself.
Well, when you start off with one though, Charles?
So I thought, yeah, maybe I can just jump in with a little
that's great.
crime lore. Would you like some crime lore?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love a little crime.
Heck yeah, crime.
Yeah, crime
More about
lore.
crime. So there were two sort of jobs that Tanner's criminal gang got up to, and they one that we opened with, and one that never happened. Luckily, we didn't have time for that.
I love how you. By the way, can I just say, I love how hard you drove the train job, and then immediately we're like, you
Nope,
cannot
guys,
do
we're not.
train
We
not
don't
do
have
the
time
train
to do
job.
that.
You mustn't do the train job.
She literally said to me before my first, she was like, Emily, you mustn't let them go
Don't
do the
let them
train
do
job.
that.
I was like, how am I meant
go.
to stop them doing the train job?
And I was like, Emily, I've really given them a lot of motivation to need to do the train job.
And I was like, right, but you
This
don't
is-
want them to do
This
it.
is the consistent theme of this series is
And I'd like them to
Shamini
not.
giving
No.
us the most
But the
motivation to
thing-
do
it's the
something
thing.
and really hurting us in a particular direction.
Yeah.
And then immediately going, what are you doing? Don't do
Why
that.
are you doing that?
No, stop it! Stop following
wrong.
plot. Wait.
No,
Yeah.
it's not what you're
Wait.
supposed to be doing.
It's such mixed messages because it's like, but I thought that's where you were telling us to
Well, I
go.
like
We thought you
the
needed that.
beginning opening scenes, the opening scenes were nearly like great. I was like, I can just railroad this. You rob the post office, you leave, great, railroaded. And then Folarin happened. But,
What happened?
No,
up
Florida.
until that point, it was
Yeah.
great.
Oh, that's not fair. to
Wait.
Folarin.
You say, and then Folarin happened. I was the first.
First one.
I set the
Yeah.
tone for everything.
So basically, you thought, oh, I could railroad this, and then Folarin was in your game.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately, I was like,
Flora's
and
like,
I want to
"Watch
be,
my
I want to
point."
be, but this is the thing. I want to be so clear. Here's what happened. You did your little explanation-y bit, and then we had a bit of an interaction, and then I went, oh my gosh, I failed as a player. I haven't done enough. I haven't
gotten in
given
the
her
habit.
enough material to work with.
I must keep going.
I've just kind of been like, oh yeah, sure, I'll say a little bit and then disappear. So I was like, you know what? Time to make a big swing so that Shamini has some shit to work with.
Which you did, and
So you're welcome, actually.
Yeah.
I did like it, like the whole series, just me panicking, being like, they're making big swings, and then realizing that made everything very entertaining, but still very alarming.
Stop swinging so big.
The plot happen. Oh no, that's good. You want- oh, I
Little
want
swings, little swings.
plots.
No home runs, just to
Well-
first base. That's it. Where are you going?
The Hatton Garden post office robbery.
Yes, sorry.
Real
Oh,
robbery,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where are we? We're 1881. There was a post office branch situated near Hatton Garden in the busy district of Holborn, says the Postal Museum. And it was the scene of a bold robbery. It was not even that. Well, I suppose the bold thing was, it was like 5:00 on I think November evening. And they just walked in and they had someone turn the lights off. And I was like, oh, and then you have to like open a lock because that's obviously Theo's whole thing. No, they just like waited until everyone was screaming in the dark and just like took a bag off the wall, like a bag of post.
Yeah.
And all the post is full of super expensive jewels because it's just the jewel that's doing the post, jeweler post. So they were just like yoink, and then they left.
Wow.
You know those things where you'll learn some sort of piece of information about the past that reminds you that, contrary to sort of popular belief, people in the past are just as complex and sophisticated as you are. And then you're like, oh yeah, of course, because we haven't changed that much as a species. And then someone will be like, actually, back in the Victorian era, you could just turn off the lights and then steal everything, and people will be like, oh no, my vision.
I can't see it.
But it was full of, I think it was just because it's like, well, it's full of people. No one's going to be able to steal anything when everyone's around. No, they just turned the lights off. £80,000 at the time, more than 6 million in modern
I
times.
gotta be real. I think it's on. I think, fair cop.
Yeah.
Fair play.
100% fair play. Oh,
Brilliant.
you turned the lights off and that enabled you to steal £6 million.
Damn.
Fucking fair enough, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yours now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you're the first person
it.
to realize that that's possible, good on you. Like,
Literally.
Set up for
That's
life.
Especially
that's on
if
the
you're able,
postal
if you're able to
service
get
at that
6
point.
million without actually hurting anyone as well.
That's it,
That's
yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, just yoink it.
Literally, it is a Robin Hood of steal from the rich and then keep. You don't.
I'm full. Yeah.
That's not how that phrase goes.
Keep.
I don't know, Folarin. I
Classic
think
Robin
Fiona made a
Hood.
really compelling
Steal
point.
from the rich and keep it.
Yeah.
If I'd put
Classic
that in the game, if I'd been like, and then you steal it and you walk out, you'd have been like, I didn't see, that doesn't seem very plausible. That wasn't really a challenge.
Really, honestly, if
This is
you'd done that,
funny.
I'd have been like, surely that can't be it, Chava.
I would have assumed someone would have been coming after us afterwards.
Yeah.
Or like,
Mhm.
Yes,
we'd have been
yes.
spotted or
Someone coming after you and following you in an Urchins game. I don't think that happened
That
much.
happens so much.
Oh, should we do a
Oh,
little
was the
counter? How
final
many times
guy?
did that
I
happen?
have a question
Yeah.
about the end. There was the guy that was lurking on the corner.
Yes.
Was John?
No, it wasn't John. Sorry you never met John. I may have overbuilt up John. That was just one of Sally's
Assumed it was
teenagers
John.
who she hired.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you remember how the assorted teenagers
Yes,
came
yes,
to
yes,
come
yes.
beat us up, and I
Yes.
was like, I don't know, I have a gun, guys.
Pretty
I don't know about that.
sure we can end this. Yeah.
Do you wanna, or do you just want to kind of go away now?
I brought a
Oh.
gun to a teenager's fight. So that's what
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be for only, like, I don't know, the 5 people listening to this who are fans of Hellboy. But the joke is, watch out, that urchin's got a gun. Which is a reference to the famous panel where Hellboy shouts that, watch out, that monkey's got a gun. You're welcome.
Excellent. Love that. Thank you, Folarin.
Both very
You're welcome.
concerning. And then the other crime was the Great Gold Robbery, where they were sending gold on the train to Paris, and the London Bridge to Folkestone train, and you have to keep the gold in the train safe, and you have to have like 2 copies of 2 different keys, and they weigh the safe going on and off the train, and then like be like, this is how much it should
Sorry,
weigh.
where was all this security for the post office?
They were really
The
into
trains are
gold.
really important. When was the train robbery?
That was
More recent, right?
1855.
So
No.
before,
Oh.
like near
Yeah.
30 years before.
They were
So
much
it's
more
the post
careful.
office. Let's
More
let's not
careful.
go into it.
The post office that has £6 million on the wall?
Yeah, it's just post though. Oh no, it's just some post. But yeah, no, that was quite expensive post.
That's ridiculous.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You said this
Sorry.
train robbery was going to Paris. It's probably the French are giving some like, hey, you need these security, and we're like, oh, bloody French with all their rules. Okay, fine. That's probably what happened, right?
Well, the train arrived in Paris, and they were like, "Where'd the gold go? What's all this lead in these safes?" And there was major disagreement between the French and the English about whose fault, like exactly at what point the gold got stolen.
Ah.
However, when the gold, I think, came off in Folkestone, when the safes were weighed, it did not weigh the same. So Paris were like, yeah, that was you. And everyone's like, there's no way that people on a moving train between like that short a time could have nicked the gold. But they did. It helped that 2 of them were like worked for the railway. So one of the people was the guard who was like literally there at the time. One of the people was like the guy who sets the guard schedule so he can make sure that his guard.
got it.
They'd gotten like wax copies of the keys, and they'd taken in a load of lead and failed to weigh it properly because it was supposed to, like their plan was to like make sure it was exactly right.
So what I'm hearing is that the next Ocean's 11 film should be a period piece.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
is actually a great idea.
I love
So
that.
they made a film of this, but it was somewhat fictionalized. So it was with who's that? That Sean Connery was in it.
Who's that?
Oh.
Donald Sutherland.
Who's that?
Who's that?
Who's that?
Michael Crichton, as in
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. Michael
Oh,
Crichton
sure.
wrote a book on it
Ah.
based on this in '78, and then they did a in '75, and then they made a film in '78. But I was going to draw heavily upon the book because it was a little bit more dramatic than the actual thing, where they just like worked for the company and were like, let's swap some lead for some gold. Because in the film, Sean Connery is like on the roof of the moving train and is just getting ripped, and he's like, and he has to like climb off, and I'm like, yeah, we're doing that.
Yes.
But just to be clear, this is the train job you didn't want.
Didn't
them
want
to
us to do. That could have been me and Theo. It could have Will on the
Well, there
back.
could have been something key that
Pansy
John B
in there.
needed on the train.
Yeah.
When
Pansy
I
there.
overplanned for episode 2, if you happened to have been very, very fast, that was,
It was an over planning.
it was an overplanning section. I was like, and then they will do the train job, and then the episode started passing, and I was like, they will not do the train job.
There is no chance they get to that train job.
Yeah. I haven't even found out about it yet.
That train has been delayed and
Wait, hold on. But if we did the train job, were you imagining a world in which it would have just been Theo and Eddie?
Well, that was somewhat my problem. Is that no way we will doing it. So I was like, in episode 2, I would have been happy for you to split off and do separate jobs, and like Will would have had a whole, figuring out that maybe Edward George is out to get you all, and you'd have done that element by yourself, and that would have been your plot.
Yes, fine.
Which is still, it was definitely a question of like, I want these cool things to happen, but I don't want them to all be separate, that they all have very separate lives. But this was kind of but this was also the part of the plot before you all were like, oh, we have a kind of Jambi Pansy based mission, right? You hadn't met Pansy yet. And you weren't really supposed to know about Jambi yet. You weren't supposed to know any of that until Pansy turned up and said, by the way, there's a man and we have to go do a thing. But you broke into a house, and then I was like, a letter from an orphanage?
That
and
was
then
good,
suddenly
though.
what was happening, and I was like, it's happening now! It's happening!
Wait, surely we have to take this opportunity to give you such a star and an applause for being presented with chaos and going, I can make this story actually.
Really fun. I really liked it.
Good.
It was very
roller
good.
coaster ride kind of way. It's probably the adrenaline talking.
I mean, I liked how you incorporated this letter thing, and then we're like, okay, now in episode 2, I'm like, okay, so Will, Eddie's asleep next to you, Theo's asleep, there's some moonlight. What do you do? And you're like, I'm going to read the letter through my head.
Perfect shard of moonlight strikes down on
No.
you.
Let's please be exact. It's not that I wanted to read the letter through the moonlight. I was like,
No.
I'm going to channel the power through my head,
Yes.
But it's
forgetting that I had not
you
yet
thought
read
you
the
read
letter.
it. You were like, I don't care what's in it. I'm definitely
So
not.
I was
already read
like, yeah. Why aren't you letting Will do this? I was like, yeah,
Yeah, Shamini.
yeah, Shamini.
Yeah.
Mamma mia.
I think I remember at the time being really a bit belligerent, trying to back up
Yeah.
Folarin, like really
Oh,
do a
use his
solid.
superpower.
Well, let him
And
read
then
the letter, let him
immediately
go.
being hit with, he hasn't read the letter yet.
And I was like, oh, interesting. So I just made up that memory of reading the letter. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah.
But I liked how, Charlie, you set it up like, here's the moonlight, here's everything, and
Yeah.
and
I just
Laura's like,
ignored you.
this, and you're like, no, idiots, that's plot, no,
Incorrect.
Put the plot down.
put it down, do it like this.
Get that out of your mouth!
Get back on my railroad. I railroaded me very clearly.
Except there's no robbery on the railroad, just rails, please.
Just rails.
Just rails, exactly. Yeah.
I just really love it because there was a we had this big moment right before Emily came in, where we had this big emotional standoff, me and Folarin, about the train job. Like, I'm taking Eddie on the train job. You're out of here if I don't do this most important thing of the train job.
Yeah,
And
I
then we
watched that
sign
scene
in.
and was like, "Oh, I have to get rid of that? Okay, yeah."
I mean, it worked.
And then we sign in to the next session, and somebody's like, "By the way, you really shouldn't do the train job." And I'm gonna be like,
Gonna need you
"Okay,
to do everything but the train job.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to really climb down off this ladder."
Well, you didn't climb down off the ladder. You climbed up an adjacent ladder of boss murdering. Like,
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
That's
exactly.
true.
Yeah,
Not
That did also
murdering.
give
He's
me-
not dead.
yeah, it was great. Not murdering.
Yeah, but injuring,
Yes.
mauling, disabling.
Violently assaulting.
Yes.
Yeah,
Some
violently
might
assaulting.
call,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Grievous
the people
bodily
the
harm.
ladder, and thank you for doing that instead of the train job. Yeah.
I
I'm
love
sorry.
people
I know
murdering.
I'm up this train job ladder, guys, but I'm seeing this other ladder over here.
That I
It
just
looks
made.
Mass
kind of
murder.
interesting.
But again, that was helped. I think again another prop to Shamini for bringing someone going out. Oh, this is a condemned building. We're gonna get rid of it. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
oh,
that
well,
was
we know
great.
where we're going then. So I thought that was a nice little gem. So
Yeah.
again, we'd had this big argument. Pansy had come in to sort of reinforce the zombie stuff through Emily's amazing sort of like role play. And then we had this other dude who you described as like, oh, these poor children. And then Zack going like, ah, fuck off. And then coming back because it's like, what do we do? Tell the adult to fuck off. Great, you know. So
Tell the adult. To fuck
I mean,
off,
look, that's
really.
the solution to most things.
Tell the adult to fuck off.
I did love that. That whole exchange was so good.
because we were all like,
Well,
oh,
because
shoot.
look, at what point has an adult done anything good for Theo, other than
Mm.
like give me work with
There was some
Tanner,
biscuits
right?
at one point. Some biscuits.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Eleanor was
Food.
always nice to us.
That's true, but I would say that every
Installed.
other adult
yeah.
Yeah.
has systemically proved to not be a caring figure.
But and I think almost more to the point, and we did discuss it afterwards. It's such a the worst thing that an adult can do for you specifically, but I think any teenager is like be
Mm.
condescending. It's
Oh.
like treat you like a child.
Yeah.
And so the fact that he
Pity
was trying to, and it was completely well intentioned, but the fact that he like pitied you and was like, "Oh no, I want to help," you're like,
Oh.
"Fuck you."
Thoughts and prayers, yeah, sorrows.
I
yeah, like-
kill now. Yes.
yes.
Yikes.
Yes.
Actually.
I think I'll resort to murder instead, good sir.
I had no
He
idea.
didn't die. He's not dead. That was the point.
Did anyone else at the point where you found out that like, oh, he doesn't really own this building? Did anyone else expect that to happen? Because
Oh no.
No.
Did I
No.
expect he didn't
No.
own the building? No, not for a
No.
second.
No, I thought that was
no.
great.
After that, what I mean is after that reveal, which I did know about because I
He put it in.
Oh, when
Yeah.
he
Did anyone
was
expect
what Zack to kill
Theo
him.
to go, yeah.
I assumed that would be the case.
When he
yeah.
was on the way, I was like, he's going to hurt this man.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he would go
Yeah.
to death, and he didn't necessarily. Like
Think of it.
So
No, I.
Like, what will he do?
but, like-
Nothing. He'll probably just go off and do something with everyone. Oh no! Oh, he's gonna go. Oh,
no, because he's the protective one. So in
Yeah.
my head, that made sense. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved that. I thought it was a great moment.
Thank you.
But I will say that the reveal that he didn't actually own the building was another thing. And again, we just discussed this afterwards. But it was one of those great twists where it's like, it was genuinely shocking,
Yeah.
and yet also made perfect
Makes
sense
sense.
because it was like obviously he doesn't own it. Why would
Yeah,
he? That
yeah.
it didn't even make
Why
sense.
would this
that-
man own this building?
Yeah, and
Literally.
if he owns this building, why isn't he renting it properly? Like rather
Yeah,
than to
all
like
these
3
zombies.
random
Terrible,
kids. Like yeah.
And it was this thing where I think in my head I'd constructed a world where it was like, oh, he like owns it through some weird illicit means, but
it's
like
really
it's going to be too
decided on it.
expensive to fix it up, and so he hasn't done blah blah blah. But it's like, no, obviously he just doesn't own it.
because it was in the session 0, right? You feel ownership over it because what we've all decided together, the story we've all agreed on, we've all come up with it, is that you have this landlord, Mr. Tanner, and he owns this building, and he found you in it, and he said you could stay, right? So that was taken as read. It wasn't like
Yeah.
clues dropped in the story. We had said that
Yeah.
was the case, and then I was like, no.
But now I take it. Yeah.
Actually,
I loved it.
wow.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because it was the same with like
But I do
we're the kids at the orphanage who have the superpowers, and I'm like, what are you? Ooh.
Yeah, that threw
Yes,
me.
that's
I
true.
was like going like, what do you mean there's more? Because I knew that Emily's character would have powers, and maybe we'd lost someone or something like that. But then Emily going, oh well, there's loads of us, and I'm just there going like, has Fiona forgotten something from the session 0? And am I
Yeah.
misremembering everything? So no, it was great. Really enjoyed that.
See, that was one where I was expecting that we were going to find out that we weren't the only ones with powers, because I was trying to work
Yes.
out how else you were going to give us the
Lauren,
powers.
you predicted all of my plot points. Just every episode, you would be like, I wonder if it's this, and it was always exactly that.
And you're like,
No,
maybe.
well, hold on. You're
Every
forgetting when I was like, giant
I-
pigeon,
I-
giant mutant pigeon.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
I-
genuinely at one point
Giant.
thought it was going to be giant mutant pigeon as well.
Yeah,
When you were
thank
describing the
That
woman
would've been
in the
great.
sewer,
Yeah, I was
I
like,
thought,
here it is.
as did chat. Chat were all there. They were like, oh my god, giant pigeon.
Yeah.
We're all
No,
just...
I also suspected that there would be other kids with powers. What I didn't expect is that those other kids with powers would have been from the same,
same
orphanage as
orphanage.
us and were the people that we left behind.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that was what surprised me of like, oh, you just didn't talk to each other.
Yeah, right.
It
Well,
makes total
so
sense.
Sean-
You
Somebody
guys
told
just found
me-
each other and decided.
Yeah.
Shamini was like, yeah, the other 3 were like a bit weird and like didn't really talk to anyone else, and that and then they left, and so
Because
that's
they're
why Pansy had
disappointed.
this like,
Yeah.
you guys like ran away, like you're the weird ones, not the ones who
All the weird
stayed.
ones.
Yeah.
Which was in our session 0. It's like, you were the weird kids at the orphanage, and you thought it was because you had superpowers, and I'm like, no. It's
We
just
were just weird.
You were
Yeah.
just
It's
weird.
social.
We're just weird. That's very. I don't know if anyone's watched 30 Rock, but there's this amazing episode where Liz Lemon basically is like, oh, I was always like sort of bullied when I was at high school, and it was so unfortunate, blah blah blah. And then she goes back to her high school reunion and discovers that in fact people were, I guess, off with her, but only because she was an incredible bully herself.
So rude.
Assuming that she was
Yeah.
going to be bullied, so she was like very spiky with people. And it's that thing of like you can very easily adopt, I think, especially when you're a kid, a persona and kind of be like, yeah, I'm this,
Yeah.
not realizing that like you're just projecting onto other people what they think of you.
You know what? I think I've got a canon reason in my head why we are the weird ones. It's because Theo was running Eddie and Will through a role-playing game of our own imagination. We were the theatre kids.
You're the theatre kid.
practicing your little
right.
show.
Yeah. And everyone's there
Yeah.
like, well, how weird. And
We
we're
were
like,
doing Urchins the musical.
yeah.
I love that.
There you go.
It's that opening number that we did when Shamini had technical difficulties. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You were really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really weird.
It's just people walking past a doorway and then doubling back and then just kind of seeing us going like 5, 6,
6,
7,
7,
8.
8.
And, like,
Ah, da, 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 da,
On the
da.
beat. On the beat.
like,
Things on the game.
yeah, you were all really weird, and like no one knew what to say to you. You wouldn't sing. You wouldn't talk to anyone unless they sang to you. And they
Yeah,
couldn't
I-
harmonize. You
I'm
kicked
like,
people.
like,
It
yeah,
wasn't very nice.
Make a charm roll. A 5. Can't talk to you. That's it. That's it. Oh.
One of my other favorite things, I might have said this before, was like, because obviously I had like this vague plan at the beginning of things that could happen. One of the things was going to be like, oh, maybe they use their powers in episode 1 because you're superpowered orphans. I presume you'll use your powers, and maybe there'll be this whole thing where people start noticing, and there start being all this chat about like, oh, I heard there are like magic witch kids who can curse you or something, and like it would become a whole like, oh no, people are like after us. What if they find out? Like something along those lines. Which nowhere near enough time for in 6 episodes. That can't happen. Nope. But it was the kind of thing about the sort of thing I liked about it is what can I have happen as a direct consequence of what you're doing. So I was going to try and set up something really public where you had to use your powers to like save someone from a burning building or something, so that it would be like to force you into like revealing, so that I could have consequences. But the consequences thing is like super fun. Again, you can't like plan for it, but being able to be like, Theo's really annoyed Sally. Sally hates Theo's guts. How can I like use this later? Or like arbitrarily like, oh, it's probably Freddie what stole it, and being like, oh right, okay, I've got to like try and bring bring as much back. I'm sure I missed loads of things I could have done.
I guess I guess an alternative way you could have done it is that there's that burning building. We three see it, but then we see those other urchins who, let's face it, have more useful superpowers than someone who can twist metal, someone who can see a memory, and someone who can control birds. I don't see them as the new Fantastic
Metal
Four.
ones,
You know, like we have Violet with water. You know, we have whoever it was with the earthquake. You know, like I feel like those are like the cool A-listers, and we are unfortunately the C-listers,
You
the
had
weird
such
kids.
good- I loved your picking of powers, either powers or what's the word? Costs to your powers that were so like narratively driving. Things about memories and emotions and
Yeah.
communication that would like drive plot forward, which was like really, really beautiful and like paid off really, really beautifully. I didn't know that, you know, Theo's memories were going to be such a sort of focus of an arc.
Right.
And like Folarin's powers being then used by like Eddie and Pansy, Will's powers.
And actually, that was one of the reasons why in that first episode, because you talked about the fire of the cigar, and you talked about there being anger associated with it. That was one of the reasons as well why I broke in, because the idea was that like feeling that anger, Will was like, yeah, actually, fuck it, fuck this guy, I'm gonna break in.
I love that.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it really
Folarin
did.
was
I
just
think
role
playing around with
playing.
that. Yeah.
It was
Just doing my
really
job.
good. Apart from then, I was like, oh, we're just going to keep breaking into this house because this is where the plot is.
Plot house.
I love you took them to the most important house. Didn't expect them to go in.
I didn't think it would go.
It's like everything in our backstory and our like things that are happening to us are pointing us in the direction of this house.
It's not a coincidence,
one
right?
house.
Like there's no other locations. There's no other like named highlighted location other than this house.
So
Well, no. Well, hold on. Let's count the locations.
Okay.
I made a map.
Jarby's house.
300 Holloway Road.
Yeah.
300 Holloway Road.
Which we never went to. We went to 3 Holloway Road. Maybe the plot was at 300 Holloway Road, and you guys made fun of me. Because I misremembered.
If I send someone a map, will you share it on screen? Because I have a really nice map.
Send it to me. I will do
you
my
actually?
best.
Yeah, I just got. Yeah, it just never happened. I do have a really nice
Send
map.
it to me, and I will do my
I'll
best.
put it-
There's our house, Tanner's basement,
Yeah.
Zombie's mansion,
Yeah.
The library.
Yes.
Madam M's house,
The
the
library.
library, the church,
The church.
Oh, I didn't put the church on.
and the Edelwick house.
And they
Oh
didn't.
yes, yeah, Edelwick House. The second house we broke into.
Just look at the houses.
Yes.
It's
Oh,
just
you
really
counted.
important. for
Oh,
you
and
to-
the sewage pump and the sewers.
That's too far.
Oh sure.
Too far out. I'm not putting that on my map. It's miles away. But this map is based on a Edward Booth's poverty maps. So he mapped out London at least, and there were different colours for like the poverty levels in different like individual streets. So you can
Tanner's
see. Like,
basement is so far away.
I know.
yeah, I know. Well, you said it was on Fleet Street.
I said it was on the Strand, yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
I'll get it in a second. Sorry, I'm still saving it to places.
But you can
Whilst
see.
we're...
Yeah.
Oh no, after you.
No, you carry on.
I was just going to say, whilst you're looking for things, because you mentioned the sort of power of like sort of reputations and stuff, and I was just going to give a shout out to, it's a thing that I do in my game sometimes, stealing from the good society and throwing rumors at the top of a game, and like taking things that have happened last game and making them rumors at the top of the next game, or allowing people to like, because again, this is a bastardization of their rules, but allowing players to kind of like throw a rumor into the mix and see how that kind of interjects and sort of interacts with things is always fun.
All right, the map is now on the stream for people
Love
to
good
see.
society.
Wow.
And yeah, the Tanners is
just
so
seen-
far
I've-
away.
I've just seen a thing on this map that has reminded me of a fun London fact that I can
Ooh,
that I
go for
can
it.
tell if you like.
yes.
So Tanner's basement is near the temple.
Mm.
Now, Middle Temple these are associates of like lawyers and barristers, and friend of this show and me personally, Liz Campbell is a member of the Middle Temple because she's a lawyer. They have an association which she was a part of for a time called and I can't remember the name. There's a specific group, and I will remember it at some point. Revels. Yeah, maybe that's it.
Heard
Can't
of
remember
that.
off
The
the
name
top
of
of my
the
head.
sweets.
Yes, similar to the name of the sweets. And this society of like theater lawyers has spanned back like the entire history of the Middle Temple. They do like Christmas plays and things and sketches, and nowadays you can just, they do a Christmas show, you turn up, you drink some wine, you laugh about legal jokes that are put on by lawyers, which you can imagine what it's like, but it's wonderful. But one of the original shows they put on was the original of A Midsummer Night's Dream, like with Shakespeare. So it's like the intersects with history. It's just fantastic. These strange
That's amazing.
Also, it falls under its own jurisdiction. It is not a jurisdiction of like the London stuff. It's like its own thing because lawyers or whatever. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, it's wild. This
I
is
need
like
to remember that.
1,000-year history, with laws and rules dating back to like when there was an entirely different organization of society. It's wild.
Oh, very
Anyways,
cool.
there's the fun London fact for you.
I love it.
London fact. Nice.
London fact.
Very cool.
That's my song to go.
And just to say, because Shama's put it in the chat as well, so on the map itself, you see there's like blues, yellows, and reds. So the yellows are richer places, reds are middle class, and the blues are the poorest, according to Shamini Bundell. So there you go.
Oh, wow.
So, but like the level of detail
I was
on
going
this
to say.
is immense. Yeah, I should have. There's so many nice old maps of London that I did not end up using.
I didn't
And
realize how close we were to Jambi's house. I thought Jambi's house was ages away. So nope. I was like, oh well.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's
Nope.
wildly close.
Oh, I was like, I'm going away now. And then just 2 streets over. I'm home now.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
It's all very near to each other. And then
Which, in fairness, we have small legs. It makes sense.
Yeah, I'm tired.
the rookery, which was actually demolished quite early on in the 1800s. I was gonna make a whole big thing, but I didn't really think through how or why, so I didn't actually make it significant to the plot. I was like, and then they'll definitely go there, and then I was like, they need to. They can just break into some rich people's houses and more. That'll cover that.
Cover it all.
So that became irrelevant.
Not at all. Not at all.
You do love breaking into rich people's houses.
Yeah.
Major plot point,
Oh,
I
that's
think.
really interesting.
Yeah.
For legal purposes, I'm talking only about my character.
Okay. Folarin
Yeah, of
definitely
course.
doesn't break into other people's houses.
I've never done it, never will.
Wink.
I'm reading through my notes, and after our initial session 0, I had a chat with my partner, he of the sewers book, and one of the ideas.
That's what she calls him every day. Yeah,
Sewers man.
He of the sewers.
He of the sewers book.
Sewers man.
One of the ideas that came out of that, which I really liked, was we at the beginning of in the session 0s, we're talking about themes about power, and who has power and who doesn't have power, which obviously ties into the sort of like crime and wealth and revolution. But I really liked the idea that the whole purpose of this Jambi gentleman scientist, I'm going to give children superpowers, was a thing about giving powers to the powerless, about taking the most powerless in society, like a poor orphan with no parents, not a penny to their name, and being like, you get some power.
Very Pygmalion.
Poetic,
Very, My Fair
Very
Lady. that sense.
biblical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my question then to you, Shamini, because I again, you might not have like said it out loud. So how did we get our powers? It was from the gem, right? But what happened? Is it just like, oh, mysterious? You were just put next
Was
to the
he
gem?
grinding it into the food?
Was
I
it-
think
The Magicorium.
Yes.
I think
The
my headcanon that never came out was
Yeah.
that the gem is radioactive, and that box that it's kept in is
Lead.
It's got lead in it.
Oh, love that.
and that
Love
So
that.
we're all.
radiation.
So what you're saying
Well, no,
is
I've-
we are just Spider-Man.
Boy, yeah, we're just yeah.
So, am I
Full on
dying?
mutant.
Because I cough and splutter a lot.
It's not great, is it? It can't be great, but like, yeah, your mutants,
I've
your
got
radiation
radiation poisoning.
Yeah,
Well, but also
great,
it could be like
Sean.
magic radiation.
sorry.
You know?
Yeah, magic,
maybe it's
exactly.
different.
It's magic radiation.
Magic radiation. But then you said something to me about how people's powers potentially first started forming like when Pansy like was around them. Was that your
Mm.
headcanon as well? Or was
My headcanon was that like you get exposed as a child, but they don't immediately manifest, and then as you get older, they start to appear. And a lot of those first appearances is because Pansy comes along, and suddenly your powers are like 5 times stronger than whatever they were. So
Sure.
you
Yeah.
would notice a lot earlier. That's probably the first time you notice when it's suddenly like, oh.
Yeah. I think for ages Pansy thought she was like the loser who didn't have any powers. And yeah. And then was like,
And it turns out you were the most powerful.
the
Powerful.
most
It's Umbrella Academy again.
Well, because you
Yeah.
you could
Is
take
Umbrella
our
Academy.
powers away.
yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
which I think we
Harmony desperately wanted me to take your powers.
I'm
Fine.
Fiona just
Yeah.
came and turned that entire last episode upside down.
Sorry.
Completely
No,
all
no,
of the
fully.
things that we all thought was going to happen. Fiona's like, I don't think so.
I got the brief that we are cheeky, chappy, comedic, and then there was like serious drama, emotions, and then everyone has an argument. I was like, oh shit, this is my fault. Well, I'll have to do something. And so that's actually I do want to give absolute props to Emily though, because I was thinking to myself, I don't know what power I'll do anything, but we had our session 0 very close to Blades in the Dark, and of course what's one thing that Emily's character did in Blades in the Dark? She had pigeons. You used pigeons for your thing.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
Mm.
why don't
Pigeons are
so
great.
yeah, so absolutely, yeah. So I meant to say that earlier, but yeah, absolutely inspired. 'Cause I was thinking like it has to be a pet or something like that. I was like rats, and I was like, no, pigeons. That makes more sense. 'Cause then I was like, otherwise we're just stuck in the sewers. No one wants to be in the sewers. So yeah,
Yeah.
because I never told you, Emily. I was like, yeah, it was from literally you
How'd you know?
mentioning pigeons in Blades in the
Oh,
Dark.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. We
Sorry,
love
you never got
pigeons.
to chat to any rats in the sewers.
I think that's fine. I think I was like, maybe I could.
You're
and
allowed
Shami's
to
like,
not. Yeah.
Don't have time for a rat subplot. I can't justify why the rats are also telepathic.
Well, if we do a sequel, maybe we discover that actually your power is just general telepathy. Maybe you can speak to
I was
all
100% thinking. I was
that what-
considering going in that direction.
oh,
Yeah.
interesting. I thought we were just gonna go like the pests of London. So you got rats,
The vermin, yeah.
vermin.
Well, very
yeah.
early on, we started. I really like that we started the session 0s with like, here's my little base level power, and it could have gone anywhere, right? You could have
Yeah.
gone like, I can talk to animals way. You could have gone, I can like actually, I'm just reading things as thoughts way.
Yeah.
I feel like with all of you, it was nice that there were different branches to go, both with the escalation of your powers and the escalation of the costs. And I like that it was loosey goosey enough that we didn't mechanically say what those had to be in advance, so we could find them to fit the story.
Yeah,
And that was a really nice. I'm really pleased with the sort of adaptation we did of the Kids on Bikes rules, where we were like, let's take this loosey goosey bit and expand that. And
100%.
So
So Emily, so did you always have this idea that you would be someone that didn't have like a traditional power? Like what? Because obviously
No.
we just like I'll see what
it was
fits the
such a
story.
good idea.
No, me and Shamini came in. When did we have our first session 0? It was definitely after your session 0.
Yeah.
And we knew I was coming in late.
Super initial, yeah.
We had a super initial one before I went away for work.
And I was like, there's this guy, and he's making superpower orphans, and he wants to revolutionize the world.
And yeah, I think I knew I was going to have to come in and have some way of like being a plot point for you and have some kind of like potential use for you. And there wasn't sort of an obvious one with like your 3 powers of like, and then I'll be the missing power. Like, because it was like, well,
fire,
I'm not quite
the
sure.
earth and
Yeah.
air. No.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like that. It was pigeons, metal, and memories. And I was
memories.
like, I'm not quite sure what's missing in that diagram. So, and then I was like, I can't remember what I remember very clearly at one point just being like, oh, what if I like could boost other people's powers and make them more strong? I think I was partially because I was thinking like, I love Rogue, like she's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And
is good.
she's obviously a bit different, but then I was like, I don't necessarily need the powers myself. Like, I don't need to take them. Like, what if I can just help everyone else?
Yeah.
And then she's got this really like power that can like, and I think, and it was also inspired by the fact that they had these like costs, and I was like, what if I can take away everyone else's costs,
That's so
and so
brutal.
you don't have to go through it. Like she's there to like take on that pain, which is horrible.
Yeah, the fact that your character Pansy is like the number one in charge, and all the other kids kind of defer to her, but actually, like Jambi, like as we discovered, like was just using it. Oh yes, you're so important.
You're in the important one, yeah.
But I was like, oh, brutal. But
yeah,
those conversations at the end, I was like, gosh, that's so brutal.
He needed me on side because if I chose to just get rid of everyone's powers,
You could do, yeah.
I could have done it. Like,
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
It's the real tragedy of like that. I think you played the character so well because she was so fun and interesting and precocious that you sometimes forget that she is literally maybe not even 10, because maybe she's even younger than
She was 10, but
She
yeah,
was 10,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
and I think there's a real tragedy in like whenever you encounter like a really precocious child who is so kind of in charge and so sort of sophisticated, where you're like, oh, what have you experienced that you have to be so like
The thing that
mature?
changed, because I always have this whenever I come up with a character in my head and then I start playing them and they're totally different, was she was going to be way more soldier when I came up with her. Like she was going to come in and be like, attention, like fucking like military, like I need you soldiers to do this, go go go. And I think I kind of morphed it when we were talking like quite close to when we were about to go, she was about to come in, and I was like, oh, they need to like me, because if they don't, like, they're not gonna, because they've been to that house, they were nearly kidnapped again, so they now don't like that house. I come from there, I can't come in and be like, hey, like, we've got a mission, let's go, follow me. Like, it wasn't gonna work because you would have just been like, fuck off.
Which was not it wasn't my original plan to make you not like that house. What happened was, at the top of episode 3, I knew you were going to the house, and I knew that I wanted Jambi and Pansy to be in the house, because if they're somewhere else it's kind of a cop out, and like we need to get to meeting them. So I was like, they're going to the house, but I can't, and I'm happy for them to find stuff, but like they can't find Mr. Jambi or Pansy, because like that has to happen next episode. So I sent a, frantic voice note to Aaron Hammonds, my GM guru, and I was like, Aaron, he's there, they're there, they want to find him, I don't want him to find them.
I very clearly signaled with my eyes as to where he is in the building.
I strongly suggested that he is there. What if they go, and I had all of these plans about, the butler's going to intercept you, or there's going to be like, you're going to have to escape from a basement. I had like so many backup plans that didn't work, but Aaron's advice, and I was like, what do I do to make sure that they don't talk to him? And he was like, well, what you do is you have them overhear a conversation between Mr. Don't Talk to Me and the chief orphan snatcher.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and he's like, yes, and then you can, later on it can turn out to a bit of misunderstanding, but he's like, oh, hello, chief orphan snatcher, and then they'll be like, oh no, it's the chief orphan snatcher, oh no, we have to run away, and then they'll run away. And
which is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
It's so good, because I was like, yes, this is a good way of making them do what I want, and you were all like so freaked out by
because it's the chief orphan snatcher,
and they're orphans who don't want to be snatched,
and our whole thing was we don't want to be snatched.
I
that's
see
our
that
whole insane incident for being
so it was good, apart from the fact that then I was it was going to be like, oh no, he just wanted you to find you for like really sensible reasons, like using your power to take over the world.
He's the good guy.
He
talking to the chief
was like, this is a bad dude.
I was gonna say, did you, in your conception, was Jambi less of a bad guy at some point?
No, he wasn't,
okay,
Shamini.
right, yeah.
No, he wasn't, because when we had a conversation, you were like,
all the reasons why you thought he was a bad guy are not the reasons I thought he was a bad guy. You thought he was a bad guy. I'm like, no, that's really reasonable. He's like looking after children in an orphanage and paying for them to
But he gave them superpowers without their consent.
Yeah, that was pretty. Yeah, you didn't know that at that point. You didn't know that.
No, but I know it
He's
now.
employing this nasty woman who feeds us gruel.
Look, you were the ones who started joking about Gruel. Like, I never said.
No.
In fact, we never even said at the beginning the orphanage was like a terrible place.
Yeah, but you
like,
have to
where-
assume
No,
the orphanage
no,
was
we
a terrible
did.
place.
We are in a
By default,
Victorian
we are.
children.
Urchins.
Bloody
And also,
hell.
the only reason I don't think we even said it, Shami, but it came out because I was like, the only reason Pansy loves Jambi so much is because he got her away from the orphanage.
Yeah.
I said to John, back
No,
to
we
the
weren't
orphanage.
at all.
Oh, hang on a second.
I could have
If
been
the orphanage
more
was
alive
nice, then
for
why
it.
did we run away?
Yeah.
Yeah, why would we
Somewhere
leave?
else. You wanted freedom. You wanted-
Why would we want to be somewhere
As
else?
children,
Why would we want
That's
so annoying.
so
Eddie
funny.
goes, guys, I actually like the gruel. I think we should stay here a couple of weeks and just see how it goes. Yeah.
Bad life choices, okay? You're idiots. Like,
Oh,
a perfectly acceptable orphanage by the standard of Victorian
no,
orphanages. Oh,
someone put that in a book.
There are no.
Why did you want to run away from the orphanage, Shamini Bundell? Because you wanted to be somewhere else.
You wanted freedom.
That is phenomenal.
That's true. When I don't want to be somewhere, I often go somewhere else.
You know what? That is true. That I do
That's
do that.
true.
Or because you wanted to go find Theo's sister, which was not.
Oh yeah,
That
it's
is
true.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
came up
true.
later. I-
Yes.
Another. one
Well,
of
but
those
then
things
also
not-
that was kind of a slight retcon, because my understanding was that he had a sister and we were hoping to find her, but leaving specifically to go and find her was
The
later addition.
incident. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the incident
Said.
where we did it. Yeah.
and then it was canon.
I didn't know about
And
any
then
of
it
it,
became
so
Yeah.
I
Well,
didn't know about that bit.
Well, no. So Charmaine messaged me, I think about 15 minutes before. By the way, Theo has a sister, and he's not responded to her. Okay, bye. And I was like, cool.
Wait.
Yeah.
You only got that 15 minutes? Because I got that like a couple of days before.
Oh no, I got it like I think about 15 minutes before. So, but then it didn't come up until Pansy arrived, and I was like, okay, great. I don't have to. I'm not going to worry about it. Like, I won't bring it up because it seems
Oh.
awkward to bring it up.
And actually, that's a really good point, because I remember, because I got it a couple of days before, and she was just like, "Oh, Theo has a sister, blah blah blah," and I just completely assumed, Emily is the sister. And so when she came in and her name was like Pansy, I was like, "Wait, what?
That wasn't the name I got. Yeah, absolutely.
What's happening?"
That was good. That was good. But I
I
another
just knew I
star.
was going to name drop her at one point. That was all I had. I was just going to be like,
Yeah.
I'll say Beth at one point and see how the other two react.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was great. I enjoyed that.
Oh, that was also good, because it was also not the name that I originally
I
had.
may have given.
Yeah.
forgotten the original.
Harmony.
Yeah, no, I was going like, that's not Polly. But it's fine.
Literally, yeah.
You didn't give me Polly.
I didn't. I forgot. I got confused.
It doesn't matter because I knew who you were
detailed
talking
notes.
about though.
This is
I,
the thing, 'cause
Yeah.
I remember there was a
remember-
moment, because sorry, the moment that you said it, I just so distinctly remember you being like, Beth, and me being like, you've said that with such weight and importance
Must be.
that it
Yeah.
must be the sister.
yeah.
But
in-
that's not the name that I had. So I just
No,
had a
I'm
brief
so
moment
sorry.
of going, wait, what? And then I went, okay, we're
Lock
just going
in.
to roll with this.
Beth is the name
Yes,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and yes.
No, it was good because I also was like, yeah, Beth, obviously. And then I looked back afterwards and go, that's not Polly. Never mind. But it didn't matter.
Polly?
Yeah, I was like,
Polly is closer to Pansy. You're like-
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I wondered if you might have
be
changed it
fair.
as a
Yeah.
result. But
Not-
yeah, no, I liked it.
Yeah,
And I was
good.
gonna my star was for both Folarin and Emily, because this is the first time you guys have played together in an actual play, and I just really loved the dynamic you had of Pansy and Will, like so having some very adult conversations about whose side are we on and like what are we fighting for, even though
Yeah.
you're on the same side. And I thought that was just really beautiful to watch and playful. It was really cool to watch because I wasn't expecting it.
One thing I was doing in those scenes was I was reading from Sharmany's notes because I wanted Pansy to sound like she was just parroting Jambi. And so when
Oh.
Shamini gave me, I literally was just reading, and because I was like, because then it will
Yeah.
sound like Jambi's words. Because
Which is
it's,
why when Jambi did a monologue in the carriage, I made sure to do the same section that.
Oh
Pansy was
shoot!
reading
Did
from.
not clock that. That's
because
so
Pansy
good.
isn't having her own thoughts; she's just been fed this information, and it lives in her brain. And that's
It
what
looks
she's
so
saying.
organic. That was
That's
really
great.
Ah,
cool.
talk
Really,
about notes.
really good.
They were good notes. Shamini
love
sent very good
Comrade.
notes.
Yeah,
Comrade.
the comrade stuff was great. Love
Yeah.
that.
I love-
Great
I enjoyed it.
callback.
Shout out to Nick Monroe Turner, who during episode 1, when Will was busy breaking into a house, wrote "The Lord of the Manors, the final boss." I'm like,
Little
Maybe.
did you know.
Shut up, Nick.
Stop
Shut
looking at the
up.
plot cast and chat. Oh,
Get away from my plot. It's for me, not you.
Yes, like,
Leave my plot alone. I don't
Stop.
care if. Hey, stop it. Put that down.
You crazy kids, get off my plot.
Get off my plot.
Well, I do think I in the episode described it as I think we've just done what Emily Bates did in Masks 2044, where she just nopes, like she glitches into the final encounter,
to do that. Yeah.
like halfway through the series.
It wasn't halfway through the series.
cool, I
It was
guess-
near the end. It was near the end. Wasn't it?
No, I think it was in like it was like the end of episode 2.
but I think
Yeah. And then we had 2 episodes in the fight. Oh no, I did go down, and then was like, well, this is bad. I shall leave and tell the others. Goodbye.
Excellent.
But I think-
I was like, I think that's what
yeah.
we did in
Yes,
this series every
yeah,
time we broke
yeah.
into the house.
yeah.
I think, but then is it just a testament again? We don't have to have really complex plot, just really simple things, and then you just leave the rest of the players to find out. And if there's an issue, that we can just go, hey, just for FYI, there's nothing to do with the guns. We're not arming the library, FYI. And that was great. As in, like, we just need to sense check this and like check in, because obviously we're all there going like, yeah, guns in the library, let's go. And you're like, no,
Yeah, love it.
Stop,
yeah, arm
stop.
the library.
because again,
I
we were just going
genuinely
like,
thought this.
I know. But I liked how
Me too.
all of it was just as simple as it can do. And then, yeah, just because, again, this is a really good cast, just be like, let's just check in. Is this okay? Where are we? And just play with that. So I think it totally makes sense. Like, yes, of course the final boss is this one person we met at the beginning.
it
or
does
in-
make sense now.
Yeah.
I will say
Yeah.
this series, because I've got a 6-part series for us coming up. Spoilers.
Ooh.
We'll talk more about it later. But it has made me go, oh, I maybe have too big a plot
Yeah.
in my brain, and
It's
I was
hard,
like,
isn't it?
and so I've
Yeah.
like I've already scrunched my plot like way down. There's all this cool stuff. I was like, get out. We don't need you
No
anymore.
time.
Beginning,
And
middle,
but
end.
then
boom.
then they're gonna get through it all in one
I was
episode.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you mean,
no,
Well, no,
wait.
but it is the rule though. I
Bring it
think the
back.
rule to any kind of series is like doing that thing of like the first time you GM anything and you're like, this is the one shot and it's going to be great, and then it evolves into like a 6-parter,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
the trick is that your players will always throw chaos at you,
Yeah.
so always keep it simple, and then stuff will happen.
Yeah. Trust your players.
So it does make sense just
Trust
to be
your
like, I'm going to
players.
keep this as tight as possible.
It's hard because you want to make sure that there's, because you're worried as a GM. Like I had it with Blaze. It's like, is everyone having a good time? What are people doing? And again, it is that mix and match, and it can depend on the system. It can depend on the story. But like, I think what's been really nice about this is that we've all had really strong. All of us had strong characters, and we had a really good session zeros for all of us, and that it was just really easy to pick up on stuff. So like, Tanner not being the landlord, of course that was going to happen. Pansy having this moment of like, wait, is all these things out? Of course that was going to happen. But it was just, it's always like, again, the if this then what, and I just think it just beautifully worked together as a result. And just, I also think the superpower stuff as well. I think I said it before. Like for me, it is all about like, all those consequences. They're just teenager puberty stuff, right? It's like, I'm really cross. I'm gonna faint because my body is not regulating itself. And I just thought that was just a cool way of like seeing that through that metaphor. Whether or not we intended it or not, I was just like, I've always said like Eddie is a small kid with just big emotions, and that's why she just goes pigeons and just can't regulate it. And it's like, how do you treat that person in a world where they don't have the support network? It could get really bad. Like any one of us, I feel like, could have had a really like, and now this is the evil arc. It might have had various levels of success, but I think it would have been really interesting to see where we would have gone with that.
I think we should also shout out the great Session 0 system / questions that Kids on Bikes has,
100%.
because I think
100%.
we've gone through it. I know with you and Emily, Shamini and Emily, we did it in like
Deep
way
Roots,
back when
yeah.
we did Deep Roots or Dead Roots. What was that?
Dead
series
roots,
called?
deep roots. I'll have a look.
Dead roots.
Something,
They were dead.
I'll look it up.
something like that, because it was ghosts.
Ghosts.
Dead
But
roots,
anyways,
dead
we
roots.
went through that. We came to that with like vague ideas of characters. We left that Session 0 with really tightly knit like friendship group that made sense. And I think I've repeatedly had that experience anytime I've used that system of like, you go in and use that, you suddenly start, especially with a group of people who are like this one, with the great at like building off each other's stuff and like taking things to the next level. You can really come out of that session 0 with a really rich lore and backstory for the characters that feels shared, that it has a shared ownership. Like I know we went really deep on the like that winter that Eddie got sick and you know, that was such a big thing for us and informed a lot of stuff that then I don't even think we said this on the stream, that like after I did the big like power thing with Tanner, I was like, I'm gonna forget that Eddie got sick, because that was a big thing for us, big thing that brought us together, and that for me informed like, okay, I'm gonna disconnect from these two characters and I'm gonna be a more selfish version of Theo, because like these are just two kids I'm hanging out with. It's not like they're my family.
There wasn't any event that cemented that. And I think, and then just to go back to that, is obviously because we didn't have that with Emily's character. So easily it could have been like us versus them. And so again, that props of Emily going like, well, I'm just going to be super nice and disarming. And I'm just like going like, what the fuck do we do with this? And it was great. I just thought that was really cool. Like because if you had this idea of, well, I'm going to swerve because obviously I need them to like me.
Which if I hadn't had to do the orphan catcher general stuff, wouldn't have
been fine.
Pushed you into having, because I had to make him more of a bad guy in order to make you run away, in order to have something else in that episode. And so it kind of pushed it in the direction
I still think it would have been difficult from my side. I think it would have been a really hard to come in, having followed you from the house. I think it would have been tricky without Pansy lying to you. Which, because I think if you hadn't seen any, you weren't worried. I think still like following you and then being like, hey, do you want to? I just thought, I don't know.
Don't worry, Will will be in Revolution. Will will be like, yeah, don't worry, I'll come and revolute with you. Like I really was like,
Will was always the thought of my in. Like, which was why it was so interesting that Will was the last one to shake my hand. Because he was the one I was going for. Like, also, my favorite bit of the whole thing was, it's one of my favorite things I've ever done, because I thought I was telegraphing so hard that I needed someone to help me down from a window to get into your thing. And then you were all like, well, it's shut, so you have to come in through the hole. And I was like, oh, in my head, my feet were like dangling in the room, and she was too short to like jump down from the window. And I was like, why is no one coming over to help her? I was like, why are you three being weird? And then I was like, oh, because I'm nowhere near close to coming in. I understand.
But that was good.
It would be a lot easier to touch Pansy.
But again, that was good, because again, I know like maybe it's like, oh, we'll secret lead, all that stuff. But I like the shake your hand, because instantly I was like, absolutely not, because I knew what was sort of coming. But I like that, because that telephone was supposed to say, oh, well, one of us has to do it. That's the thing, because it just felt like really good. Like, obviously, this is the player wants you to do this, and we're like, cool, we're not going to do it. But it was just like a really fun, and then I thought a really cool reveal scene when Theo did it. Yeah, it was great.
Like, would you like to shake my hand as the first question? What?
Absolutely not.
But I love that I got to go first with it, because I feel like that immediately for me was like, oh, I know you are now valuable to me. You can give me power. And that is the one thing that this character deep down really wants.
I was going to give you
power, and he wants to be respected.
I was going to give you so many temptations. I was going to bring Theo an army of teenagers.
You brought me an army of teens. That if only Eddie hadn't made me nice again.
How priceless.
No, it was great. I loved it.
Like, I really wanted you to be like, that gem is like the most valuable thing ever. I want it.
But then
another thing,
made me nice again. That was great.
And then it was like, oh well, I guess I'll just be a good guy.
Wholesome.
But I love that. That was so good.
It was so lovely. And I think even that, and the way that you were tempting Theo, and the way you built up John, because although he was the bad guy, the thing that I really enjoyed, Shamini, about the way you constructed everything was how much there was actually a fair amount of nuance, because it wasn't ever that he was like, I'm evil and ha 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 ha, pigeon twirling. It was always like, no. Yeah, he should take down the houses of, not Parliament, the Lords, but like he absolutely, like, this is a period of time where literally not even all men could vote, let alone women and people of color and blah, blah. So like he is completely right to use violence to take down the lords and like force something else to happen. The issue is more, I mean, and again, I think from the way we looked at him was like, you're still thinking so small that actually you're working to kind of, you know, I don't know, enfranchise people who look like you but no one else.
Yeah,
and
he
that's
only
why
wanted
you're bad.
him to have power.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But I love that it's like he wasn't evil. So it's such that even when you did the thing with the guns and we all assumed that he was arming the
that was
library,
fine.
from Will's perspective, I was like, yeah, good,
Yeah.
great.
No, that
we
would
should
have
have guns. Like because we
That's
need
correct.
to.
Yeah, guns,
Yeah, exactly. We need to use violence to like get this. So it was like even all of those kind of, I think, nuances and grey areas, I think, which is great.
That was loosely based on partly a plotline from Victoria, the ITV series, and partly the Cato Street Conspiracy, which was an early Victorian conspiracy to murder the Prime Minister and loads of his ministers, of his cabinet. And they were going to be having dinner at this house, and they gathered at this other place nearby, and they were like, we got some guns, we're going to go and we're just going to go murder them all, it's going to be great. And there was a letter in the Times about the dinner. The second in command was informant, and quite a few people were a bit like, I doubt this guy, but the boss of it was like, no, he's the best, he has the greatest ideas. He was like, yeah guys, come on, let's go kill all the people. And then there was even some doubt because I read that like someone was like, oh, it's just that my friend like works in that house, and like they said that there isn't a dinner happening there today, and they're like, no, there definitely is, let's go.
Wow.
And the Boat Street runners waited and basically like pounced on them, and one of the Bow Street runners got murdered with a sword by an angry revolutionary.
Brought a sword to a gunfight. Is that
No
what you're
one got shot, but someone did get
stabbed.
stabbed with a sword.
Oh my
No.
god.
Sword.
Yeah, and they all got sent to Australia.
Damn.
Why? Okay, can someone do this for me? What actually happened when you got to Australia? Did you were you just dumped in the outback?
That's a
What is
great
the-
question.
Is it
Yeah.
sad enough
Camp,
that just
but-
being there is enough?
Yeah,
Because
And
I
they
just
didn't
always-
they were working,
I thought
weren't
it was work camp. Yeah, like
Yeah,
service camps,
like how
right?
did that work? Like what was was it like you literally came off the dock and they were like, right, here's your uniform?
Here's a
And, like-
pickaxe, off you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
think so.
how did that work?
I don't know.
Good question.
It's a good question.
Nope.
Well,
It's like
Cat?
in Sweeney Todd, you came back from Australia, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
That's the whole thing.
was that a thing? Is that a thing? Did people do that really?
come back from Australia.
People came back, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, because your sentence is limited time,
Yeah,
and often it got commuted.
Oh,
some people
right.
didn't. But
Okay.
yeah.
A lot of people, yeah. A lot of people, initially, some of them were sentenced to be hung, drawn, and quartered, and then it seemed to often just get commuted to, oh, yeah, go to Australia. No.
Whack 'em in
Go to
Australia.
I bet. Ugh.
Can I tell you two random things from
Please.
that could have happened? So there's obviously like loads of things that like I was like, maybe that'll happen. One of them was I set this up from really early on, and like it could have been good, but it wasn't worth forcing, which is I really thought when you were in the attic before going to find Eddie, where like Eddie was in the sewers and you were like, where's she gone? Oh no, all of Theo's stuff is here, exposed in the attic. Here it all is. We're all here. It's all there. I thought someone would take the fake gemstone to the finale and then have a whole which one's the real one. Like I
that would have
thought
been
it.
fun.
I didn't think about that.
It was
Yeah.
all like I was like, there are two. They look the same. It's the MacGuffin.
You were like the moonlight on the gems,
Yeah.
sparkling.
And I was almost gonna be final battle. I was almost gonna be like, Theo, you feel something hard in your pocket and you don't remember how it got there, but you reach in and you pull out.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's fine. Also,
Ah.
Theo didn't leave the room last pansy.
Wait, because I'm actually trying to remember how that went down. Because I remember I looked at it and wait, did I look at it? I remember Pansy picked it up.
Pansy
and was
picked it up
like,
and
"Oh,
she put it down again.
I put it
And then
down,
you
yeah.
were
Oh,
left, and
it's not
Pansy
the
left
thing.
last.
Useless.
And then I don't remember if Will even like really acknowledged it.
See,
No.
because I thought what was going to happen was that Will would do like a memory thing on the gem and would have seen me
Yeah.
pick through the stuff.
So did I.
Yeah,
I,
and then
I tried to do that, but then
no,
oh
did it on
no,
a
I
blanket
went to
instead.
the I went to
Didn't,
the
you went
I
to my
the
bed sheets and stuff, and I was
My-
like, I guess.
100%
Oh,
plan.
that was sorry, because that was I remember that moment so clearly where I was like, how do I do this
Yeah.
in a way that feels true to Will's knowledge and not my knowledge?
Yeah.
And for some reason I was like, grabbing this gem felt too like, why would he go for that rather than going
Yeah.
to which
I
don't
No,
know.
it is what it is. Yeah.
And
No,
you
but
would have seen her not in the sewers, but in the pumping station because that's where I wanted you all to end up. But it was better that Pansy was like, "Come and see Jambi, and he will
Yeah.
tell you where." And then use Violet's powers.
Mm.
That was better.
I like that.
Like, I
We've got
needed
to
a
be all the
plan.
people.
I like that. I was like, oh yeah, Jambi will know. And then Jambi was so fucking useless that I was like, okay, you're
see
embarrassing
Emily
me
in
in front of
real
my new
time.
friends.
Yeah. I see Emily in real time going like, oh no, like
I genuinely
Yeah.
felt like I
Oh,
let
he's
Emily down
crap.
big time with that character.
Jambi threw
sorry?
me because I was like, here's this charismatic man that Pansy is just indebted to, and then I was immediately like,
Yeah.
I hate him. Pansy's in control now.
Yeah.
And,
Sorry.
Sir, do you not
no,
want
it's
to
no.
go now,
I thought it was
sir?
great. It was really
No,
interesting.
but that's
She was
those great
brainwashed.
character things
Yeah.
where it's like it's a character who kind of has perceived this man who looked after her
Mhm.
as if he is, so wonderful and
important
exalted.
and
And then
useful.
like the moment she
Yeah.
speaks to someone else, right? She like speaks to these three orphans who've kind of done their own thing and it's kind of like, oh, that's great. And then goes back to him and is like, oh, now in context, I see you're an idiot.
You are, in fact,
Yeah.
useless for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Turns
do
out, a
everything.
moron.
Yeah. I thought it was really good.
And then my final thing that was this random idea before the last episode, which I had out of nowhere and was a complete irrelevant detour, but I found amusing, was Eddie was in the sewers with the journal wanting to ask someone to read it. And I was like, what if she asks Freddie if he can read?
How'd I do that?
Well, I don't know. I thought, because you said my motivation right now is to find someone to read me this
Yes,
book.
and then you presented me with a male version of myself, and I went, ugh, no. Why would I do that?
And imagine
What
if
an
he could
ick.
read and it was better. Oh no.
No.
Oh.
So I thought, well, I don't think Freddie
You
can
might have
read.
killed that child with a rock.
Yeah, we could have had a dead Freddy. Deady.
Daddy.
Then I had a little side thought, which is maybe Freddie
Yeah.
is a little
no.
bit telepathic
Fuck off, Shark.
because
No.
when he was in his
No.
mother's womb, she
No.
was exposed to the stone because she worked for Mrs. M. And that's why he kept saying before I was born.
Shut
So
the
that
fuck
would've
up.
been
Wait, no,
Most-
that was great. That would have made
Yeah,
everything.
that
That
would've
would have been great.
I would have
You know
never
what?
got it.
No.
I'm the
No.
That
second.
would have been really good.
That's
It's
canon.
still
There's
true,
no
it's
reason
still
that that
true,
can't
yeah.
be canon.
Yeah,
I think
you
that's,
don't
I think that's
know.
canon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know. He's just a little bit
That's so
telepathic.
He's a
funny.
little telepathic.
That's
Yeah.
funniest
Just a
thing.
little.
And if you'd said like what's in the book, I'd have been like, what do you think is in the journal? And then I'd have had him say
Oh.
what you thought it was, and then
That-
you would never have known.
Yeah, no, sadly, I was like, oh no, not this small, icky child.
Yeah,
And I was,
sorry,
yeah,
Freddie.
unfortunately, it was an us versus them. I was like, nope, absolutely not. That was so
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, because
Random
that was
stuff.
such a cool thing you kept saying. Like, yeah, before I was born, I'm just there going like,
That made me laugh more than maybe anything
I
I've
loved it.
heard in the past.
And I was like, maybe
month.
if I keep saying they'll ask me about it. No.
no.
It's
It was-
because
it
you
was a weird
framed it
thing.
as such an obvious like joke character that we were like, this isn't pertinent to the plot.
I was like,
Everything was pertinent to the plot.
I was going to say, because in fairness, I did think it was a plot thing, but I was like, my character is not there, so I
You
cannot
weren't
ask.
there, you weren't
yeah.
there.
We also couldn't ask, yeah.
No. My main
Yeah.
aim for this whole series was that every single thing turns out to be pertinent to the plot.
Well, it was.
Well
So
done.
I had to like find.
I
a
think you
way-
did that.
yeah, just
I think
whatever
you did do that.
I
We
was
just
like,
weren't
You really
smart
did.
enough at all.
relevant
We
to the
weren't.
plot. I mean, you were because you kept saying like, "Oh wow, what if he's just making a little army of orphan revolutionaries?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, that is the plot." Yeah,
That is in fact yes,
That is-
correct.
that's
It
correct.
did.
Yeah.
Well,
kept busting the whole thing.
that
so,
was
yeah.
Urchins episode 1. Goodbye.
That is my
That's a good question that I always like to ask GMs, because I think it's people sometimes have different philosophies on this. When your players correctly guess exactly what you're about to do or what the thing is? Are you someone who's like, I'm gonna change it, or are you someone who's like, no, let the thing stay the same? And actually, this to everyone.
As you saw from my insistence that the receipt was not for guns, I cannot change it because the reality is the reality.
I
Little
will
things, sure, but,
change
like,
it if it's early enough in the campaign.
Yeah.
That's-
Sure.
Like, if they work it out and it's
Yeah.
like valid working it out, but I change my plots as we go anyway. I've
Yeah.
never done a campaign where I haven't like swerved and changed everything as it goes. I've started campaigns and not known the ending and been like, not quite sure who the big villain's gonna be, but they'll find an NPC that they fucking hate soon enough, and or one that they fucking love, and then it'll be them. And,
I'll normally keep it the same unless it's like it would really ruin it and they're like dead set on it's definitely this thing. Because sometimes you can shake them off the scent. Especially if it's long enough where like if they encounter like in fact I'll use an example. I've had in a long game that I've done recently, the players immediately get a letter from like an unknown NPC and then be like, it's this person, and they're 100% correct, but I just go, maybe. and
a maybe is the best tool in a GM's box. Just like
maybe,
and then
maybe.
and then it's like several sessions down the line, they're actually going to meet this person and be revealed, and by that time they've gone off on all these other tangents of like, well, it can't be that, so maybe it's this, maybe it's that, and and by the time they get all the way back around, they'll feel really clever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I was going to say, I had again to give an example, and Emily and Zack remember this. We did Vampire the Masquerade for a test game, and let me tell you, and I was just using a pre-generated scenario.
Emily was I don't know if that game will ever see the light of day.
It won't see the light of day, but that's why I don't mind talking about it. So I used a pre-written scenario, and the players were really invested, really amazing, and they were coming up with all these ideas, and I was just like, these are so much better than the actual ending.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, for the sake of the experiment, I need to stick to the ending. And I was like, everyone was like, oh, I was like,
it's just that.
And I felt really bad because I let everyone else down because I was like, well, I'm gonna stick to my guns. So I want to go with that whole thing of like, yeah, if the players have a good idea, don't feel like, oh no, they've guessed it, whatever. I'm like, oh great, that's where they want to go, that's where it should go. But I was like, I need the science, I need to
and then just add a little extra sprinkle on top, and then you're fine.
Be like, yes, and also,
because it was a definite like, oh, that's it, and I was like, wow, what an end.
Can you just say a word that will remind me of what the end is?
It was the sister.
Yes.
Who we know nothing about. Yeah. And we were like, it's definitely this weird blood dealer. Like, that's going to be the thing. That's being nice to me, and that's weird.
I will never forget, I was watching this murder mystery with my dad once, where it was going through blah, 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 and all these things. And I was kind of like, okay, well, I guess it has to be one of these two characters, because those are the only two characters that would it would have any like emotional stakes and sort of any drama if we found out it was this person. And then it was revealed to literally be a person that we just hadn't seen before. And I was like, well,
that's be a new person, but there have to have been hints at it. Like, you can't just be
sadly,
Dave down the road did it.
There was no hints.
In that context, though, Fiona, it was like we were doing, for the audience's benefit, we were doing like a test game for a different show. We were like, is this format going to work? And we were testing out the scenario. And like, you were so right saying after the fact when we were debriefing of like, how did that go? Do we want to do other stuff? How do we want to change? You were like, I'm absolutely never gonna just, if there's better ideas, I'm always gonna ride.
I needed to know for science, and but like everyone was like, I was like, oh, I'm going incoming for 30 minutes. I'm ready. I'm gonna feel it in the nicest way.
It was still a fun story. Like, we all really enjoyed it, and we knew it was a pre-written run, so I think we felt okay to be like.
But it was great because everyone had these incredible ideas, and that's the same thing with to bring it back to Urchins. It's like, again, I feel like Shabini, like, oh, these ideas and where are they going and stuff like that. And I hope you felt more confident that we were like, plot, and we were like, oh yeah, plot, you know. So
unexpectedly, because I'm a fool.
We plotted Shamini too hard.
Shamini was worried that the people who perform TTRPGs all the time wouldn't follow the plot that's put in front of them.
Chant. Won't.
We are going to go for a break now. A brief response to Sean, who wrote in chat, I've got to love how Jambi was so persistent on needing every one of the kids for Revolution and then immediately went all feral golem ready to dispose of
But
them.
I think that was a lie. I think that was a lie he told Pansy to get the other kids back so he had tabs on them.
Yeah.
I think he didn't really need every one of them, but if you know you've got some superpowered kids running around, like
The more, the
that
better.
would be good
I
to
want that-
find.
yeah.
Yeah, more.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
the
More the
merrier.
better. And Pansy was like, "We need them all," and he was like, "Sure."
Yes.
I was like,
we
I
need
understand.
them
We're all
all.
more powerful together.
We
And-
want
We're
to
a
be as one.
family.
We're gonna find my friends. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, just it would be good. Yeah, thanks. So that's I think the answer to that one. We are going to go for a break now, and I think we might come back and do some games afterwards. I feel like
Ooh.
we
I've had a
shall.
thought, everyone. I'll tell
Yeah.
you in the break.
We'll
okay.
find out
Tell
the
me the
thought. And we're
thought.
also going to have some announcements about our very exciting and somewhat murderous summer that we've got planned.
Wait, Theo's back. Oh no.
We're all gonna kill Shamini.
Hooray! We're back in 5, everyone. See you then.
See you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.